Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of New Windsor. So right now we're looking at the industry area that Taser built and what we built next to it last episode, which was the oil industry. And this episode we're going to be doing something completely different. We're building a zoo. A zoo! Let's get straight into it. Alright, so right now I'm sort of struggling here with how to create the main entrance. I actually completely scrapped the roundabout idea because it was a very pointless roundabout considering there was only one entrance to the zoo. So there's really no point in having a roundabout there, but yeah, I end up removing that. But yeah, the idea is this is actually pretty far from the city. It's next to that historic neighborhood we built in episode 2, or episode 3, I believe, which actually I revamped off camera. You'll see that in the cinematics. It had a bunch of missing buildings, but I decided to go in there and just finally fix that. And in other news, I participated in the global build-off this past weekend, and it had people like Flux, Taser, Crumbs McGee, Pug Gaming. We had a lot of fun, honestly. It was great. I was on Team A. We actually lost, but it was totally fun, though. I was able to... Actually, Jay complained when I said that this I was just, practicing for Calavera Beach, but that's what I sort of did in my plot. I built some beach houses, and I built some really cool little shops by the water. And I also built a massive hotel, which I guess I won't be doing in Calavera Beach, but overall, I wanted to go for a style sort of similar to Calavera Beach, which actually will be returning very, very soon. It will be the next video on the channel, actually. I'm working on that episode right now. It's almost done. I'm building a college, and it's going to be based specifically off a comment I got a while ago, detailing a whole idea for how the college within the city is structured and how it relates to art museum. So we're gonna have fun with that. But for now, we're building a parking lot, which is unbelievably exciting. I consider cutting these out of the videos, these segments where I just build parking lots, but honestly, they're nice filler, so I'm not gonna remove them because otherwise it would take me a lot longer to come out with the videos here. I'm trying to go for shorter episodes with, episodes happening more often, honestly, and I keep messing that up and spending a long time on episodes. I think this one I might have messed up a little bit. This thing is like 25 minutes long. Don't expect this all the time. This is just because I got a little carried away with the residential expansion I did, which, yeah, you'll see later in the episode. I do a lot of expansion to the residential in this area near the zoo, because that neighborhood was not expanded out to this point yet, and I wanted to experiment with some of the newer houses that I haven't really gotten to use yet from the workshop that fit the New Windsor theme. So you'll see that a little later. But yeah, I'm pretty much finished here with the parking lot for the zoo. So, okay, the zoo. We should probably talk about the zoo. I am taking most inspiration for this zoo from the Bronx Zoo because it's the zoo I, came to know and love. I grew up in New York, not in the city, but close enough where the Bronx Zoo was the zoo of choice, and yeah, I got to know the zoo very well. I had a lot of fun here, but yeah, I'm using it as inspiration for New Windsor, even though it's a big city zoo. because I like how it's just sort of nestled in between what seems like just a normal suburban sprawl, or well, if you consider New York to have a standard sort of suburban sprawl when you get to the Bronx. Obviously, you've got, I guess, a different style than New Windsor, but you get what I mean. It's not out in the middle of nowhere, and there isn't much space around the different habitats. You get maybe a couple hundred yards, and then you're in the residential area, which obviously might not be the most, humane thing, but I don't really know how terrible it would be for animals. Probably not the best to keep them around bustling civilization all the time, because we've got like elephants walking around here, and I'm thinking we're in like Connecticut or something. This is not normal. So I'm pretty late to the party in terms of making a zoo. These assets have been out for a long time, since the Park Life update, and I haven't really done anything to use them. And finally, I thought, might as well make a zoo within New Windsor. It's about time. And, we did it. And I want to use more of the Park Life assets very soon. I gotta work a little bit more around the city first to fill in some gaps, and then I want to work on the Lake District, which I keep talking about. Or maybe not a district, it'll be probably its own like town. And most of your guesses in the comments for what amusement park I'm going to be basing it off of are 100% correct at this point. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait for that, because the specific location I'm going to base it off of is going to be completely different from all of the stuff we've been looking at recently as reference, or really throughout the whole series. It's going to be a breath of fresh air. Literally, we're going to be moving away from the city into the countryside, looking for inspiration. Another thing is, I want to start making more tutorials, because, well, I feel like there are a lot of people, I take for granted what I know about this game, just because I played it for a long time, and I've just gotten to know it just as I've played, but I know there are a lot of newer players out there, and I know they need help. So if you're, or even if you're not a new player and you have a tutorial suggestion, definitely leave it in the comments, because yeah, I want to make more tutorials just to help people out. They don't take too much effort, and I feel like the actual benefit from them is definitely much bigger than, like one episode like this. Because, if a lot of people could find a tutorial, figure out something they didn't know already, then, I see that as a massive win. So I'm just placing a whole lot of trees right now, which is what I'm going to be doing for a little while, but it's necessary because there are a lot of trees in New England, an absurd amount of trees, and the tree brush does not even like that amount of trees in this game. So I gotta place some manually, and yeah, it's just very tedious work, but I manage, and It just means placing them manually for half an hour at a time, and yeah, whatever. Such is life. And yeah, I'm placing this perimeter fence around the zoo right now, just sort of randomly. Another thing, so the Roads United pack. Look at this avenue right here. I've been messing with the textures a lot, and I've got what is essentially the final version of Roads United US Reworked New England Edition. And I'm ready to release it, so you should expect it by the next episode. I changed a lot of things in the most recent edition of it. Made the national road that you're looking at right now perfectly colored to the color of the asphalt, and it looks a lot better. I'm going to be able to use that a lot more now. There are definitely a lot of tweaks I want to make, but I fixed the green viaducts so that they don't look completely green, that only the bottom portion is green, and it looks a lot more realistic now. It's just looking great. I can't wait to get this out to all of you because you've been waiting for a long time, and I've just kept saying, you know, I am just such a lazy person. This is never going to happen. I figured, you know what? I've been keeping people waiting for so long, and it's finally time to, you know, release the Roads United pack. So it should be out next episode, unless somehow I am not able to get it out, which I should be able to because it's just the final version's done. There should be no excuse, so expect it next week. Honestly, I can't wait because I've been keeping y'all waiting for so long. Alright, it's about time we did the Industries DLC giveaway. Didn't even mention this earlier in the episode. I put a text graphic up. That's how cruel I am. But I'm stuffing it in the middle of the video so people can't skip to the end of the video to get the instructions. They gotta actually watch the video. So it's just sandwiched right in here. Anyway, somebody named Brandon, who's been a subscriber for a while, you've probably seen his comments if you've checked the comments section. He has been so kind enough as to facilitate an Industries DLC key giveaway. So yeah, the new DLC, which has been out for a little while now, if you don't have it yet, then, you know, you should give me a reason in the comment section why you think you deserve to win an Industries DLC key. And also, you have to follow Brandon on Twitter. The link is in the description. And I definitely promise you won't be disappointed. He's working on a Rochester, New York build right now, which is actually very similar to Windsor, which I think you'd really like checking out the screenshots of. He's also got some screenshots of some Florida builds, which are hyper realistic, up on his Twitter. So yeah, follow his Twitter and leave a comment on why you think you deserve to win an Industries DLC key in the comments section down below. But yeah, right now we should probably get back to what's going on because we are working on a residential district, which we haven't done for a while. It's been a while. It's probably been since the university. I haven't really been working on any residential, and since then I've actually made a lot more local house assets because Taser's got a tutorial on this. It's a method that Jay taught me how to do. You pretty much go into the asset editor and you edit a house to be essentially pre-detailed, so you plop it down and voila, it's fully detailed already. It's very efficient and makes your city look a lot more realistic, and that's what I do here in New Windsor. And wow, this plane is loud, sorry about that, but it works really well, and these houses are really realistic. But I've got a couple new models of these houses that I've placed down from different packs, but these are models that I haven't really used too much yet throughout the city, so loads of fun making this district because it wasn't actually too difficult. I only had a couple angles I had to work with, and I've been getting better at dealing with those angles, the 45-degree angles. What I'll do is I'll just place a building at 90 degrees to one of the roads and just extend the path and the driveway to the road, and actually looks very realistic, like it's built into the plot. Here we're building a park because people complain that I don't build enough parks in my residential districts, so that's happening. And now I'm just throwing down all these buildings. See how efficient it is to just do this? And yeah, there's this one East Coast housing building that I'm just combining two of them together just to make a nice little apartment area. Just so cool. And yeah, all the assets are in the description, just not the pre-detailed versions of them. You gotta detail them yourself, but that's probably good, so you can detail them just to make them look good for your city, because obviously everybody's got a different detailing style, so yeah, do that. And also go to Taser's tutorial. You can find it on his channel. It sort of shows you how to, open the asset editor and pre-detail these buildings, because it's so efficient. I cannot tell you how much more efficient it is. I'm using the recycled houses from when I was making the Nevada series in Calavera Beach. I didn't make new assets, or I didn't edit any assets specifically for Calavera Beach in the asset editor. I'm just recycling some of the houses that I used for Nevada. And it's great because they work just as well. They've got the same types of trees, everything like that. And that's just made everything very efficient for me. And, oh yeah, this area by the river here, we're going to have to figure out what to do here. I don't know what we're going to work on next in the series, but that should be soon because I want to do something by that river. If you have any ideas, tell me, because it's sort of this massive waterfront area. I don't really want to build houses there. Maybe a really large greenway or something could be cool. I think that'd be a nice idea, because this is pretty much the edge of what we're probably going to be building within the series, realistically, if you think about it. I'd like to build way more, but yeah, I don't know if we're going to go any further out from this on this side of the map, just because my FPS is getting bad. It's just getting really bad. I'm averaging... All these cinematics you're just about to see are recorded in a solid 5 or 6 FPS. It's great. So much expansion to this residential area. I'm very sorry that this neighborhood is repetitive because it's, most of what you're seeing this episode. There was a lot of repetition in this episode despite building, obviously, the zoo, which is probably one of the most unique projects we'll do within the city. Everything else was very repetitive, just placing loads of houses, loads of trees, but it's gotta be done, and I don't like zoning because when I zone, either a house will turn into a really, really dumb-looking green blob that the developers thought was a good idea to include when they first made the game, or it'll just disappear. And I don't like either of those two options, so I'm going to stick with placing houses by hand. I know Jay likes to zone, but it doesn't work for me. I'm very sorry. Oh, right now we are placing down some Windsor Terrace public housing units, which I think are so cool. So King Leno made a bunch of different public housing packs a while ago, and the Windsor Terrace public housing was one of them, and I haven't placed them yet until now, so I figured this would be a great time right by the river over here, place some public housing. And it's, brick public housing, obviously, like you'd see in an area like this in the Northeast, and it's just so cool. I'm really happy with this. every public housing area in the Northeast needs loads of trees. If you look at New York, all the public housing complexes, even if they are very, very tall, are just surrounded by trees, and that's just how it is in New England. Trees absolutely everywhere. I got a massive shock when I moved out to California. Like, there are barely any trees here compared to New York. It's crazy. And there's still a lot of trees here. There are trees everywhere. But you think about it and it's like, whoa, they're way fewer than New York. It just puts in perspective how many trees there are in the Northeast. So stop complaining about how many trees I'm placing, okay? I'm underplacing trees, not overplacing trees. Anyway, it's about time we wrapped up the episode because I've been going on for a while now. Hopefully you all enjoyed. This is actually a pretty long episode. Don't expect this every week. I need to stop making these longer episodes because then people will expect me to make one of these every week. But unfortunately not going to happen. We should get a Calaveras Beach episode out pretty soon. In the next episode of New Windsor, you guys should be waiting for this one because in the next episode of New Windsor, we're going to be announcing the winner for the giveaway, which once again you should enter. It's sandwiched in the middle of the video for all of you who just skipped here from the beginning. You gotta watch the video to figure out how to enter. Very sorry, you can't just click on, enter, leave. You gotta watch the video, okay? And hopefully, if you're new around here just coming for the giveaway, then you actually enjoyed what I had to, make you watch, and you'll consider subscribing because I make as many videos as I can in this game. I want to make more, and I try to be as consistent as I can. Whether you're new around here or you've been here for a while, definitely do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed because it helps new people find the videos, and that's definitely a positive. I'm really happy that this game isn't dying out because I've been making videos for like 2 years on this game and it has not died out. It's just growing from what I can tell, and I'm really happy about that because usually a game like this will just die out within like 2 years, but I feel like this game's different. It's still way at the top of the city builders genre. Before I leave, I definitely have to tell you to follow me on Twitter because I post useful tweets. I'll try to find a useful tweet I made recently that you'll think is worth following me for and put it on screen. But yeah, it's actually very useful because if I'm not going to upload a video, then you'll know if you follow me on Twitter. And you can follow me on Instagram if you're one of the people who actually uses Instagram. I do, unfortunately. I keep wanting to get rid of it, but it's a really good place to post city skyline screenshots because it's very image-based. So I get to post all of my best screenshots over on my Instagram, so you definitely have to follow me there. The links are both in the description. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next episode.